Facebook has data about every user that anyone can't believe. It is no secret that a large amount of data that companies such as Facebook or Google is collecting for the purpose of improving the ads that appear to users, and even talked about the policy of usage and privacy in some social networks that voluntarily waive the user from his data without knowing sometimes. Relying on ads in full as a profit model is a legitimate right and is based on large companies such as Facebook, to name just a few, which is our full subject. Because of the accuracy of the data you know about each user, it does not depend on data that is shared by the user only, but resort to second parties to follow user activity on the internet, and then share this data with Facebook, which links it to the appropriate accounts. The name, country, current location, location of the photos, or even the people there, without neglecting the emotional and family status, number of children, educational stage and interests are just appetizers for Facebook advertisers. For one to believe that they exist in one place. To identify these data and their accuracy, it is necessary to reverse engineer, that is, to consider the options that an advertiser can choose when he wants to publish a new ad. First, an advertiser can accurately locate on the map with the possibility to customize the type of users where people who are permanently living on this site, people who have recently visited it, or people who come and go can be permanently selected. Access to such data is normal for Facebook using some of the algorithms that analyze user activity are no more. Interestingly, the advertiser can target users who own a small apartment, for example, or a two-room apartment, and can also determine whether they own or rent the apartments on an annual basis. The same applies to the daily mode of transportation. The advertiser can identify users who own a new car produced after 2014, for example, or target users who have more than one car, more than one vehicle, or even more than one. The advertiser can also dive deeper and determine the number of children or targeting newborn mothers to name a few, and can determine the degree of scientific mother and the type of work carried out or are currently doing. By going back to simple things, the advertiser can choose the user's preferences or choose them according to his or her political or sports preferences, which can be learned from the pages that the user likes or mentions explicitly in the fields provided by the Facebook network for this purpose. Other things the advertiser can take into account can be the types of devices the user has from smartphones and computers, the types of games he constantly plays, and the applications on his devices that he uses constantly, without forgetting his e-commerce activity and how he is accustomed to these things. These data may seem somewhat logical, especially with Facebook user activity and the ability to capture pages and posts that reflect their interests over time. But there are some things that Facebook also analyzes from photos or videos, without forgetting the outsourcing companies that are contracting with it to track the activity. Finally, methods that are used even when invisibility is enabled should not be neglected. For example, through the API, which allows the user to know the HTML5 shipping ratio to track user activity on the internet. How? The interface simply displays a number of more than one number. The first represents the number of seconds left before the device stops working, the second the charge rate of the device. By combining these two numbers, it is possible to exit more than 15 million probability. It takes 30 seconds to know the user's activity and destination on the internet. If you visit the world of technology in the hidden browsing mode and then go to Facebook, Zuckerberg and his friends will know that you were in the site even if you entered Facebook using the application and not the browser.